Hey everybody, it's your girl Bondy Blue, and I want you to check out Bondy's Boutique and get some of my merch, y'all. I've added some new things like my mermaid cups and the mermaid tees, and also the Shake Them Tits mugs. All right, you asked for it and you got it. Check out Bondy's merch at Bondy's Boutique. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue, and I am back for another Iyanla Fix My Life. This episode is about a Sunday's best star, Leandra Johnson. Okay, Leandra Johnson has a drinking problem. She's an alcoholic, okay? But she doesn't seem to really want to come to terms with that. She's done some very embarrassing things because of her alcoholism. Prime example, getting online, making videos, talking about how, you know, you go to church and you go to these conventions and you looking to worship the same person who you are, you know, basically saying that the people in the clergy, the ministers, the preachers, the old holy people are the same as everybody else with the same problems and the same vices and the same lies. And it's like, oh honey, we know. We know. You ain't got to tell us. We know. Okay, but she's having a hard time right now. And apparently the story is that her brother passed away 2 years prior, and she's angry with God. So not only is she angry with the church, which spills over into her career as a gospel artist, but then into church and into the very thing that she uses to minister to herself and to minister to other people. Right now she doesn't necessarily believe in, and she's rebelling against it, and then using the liquor, the spirits, to dull her pain. Okay, so y'all, the person that called, because there's always a person that calls Iyanla, there's always a person that reaches out for whoever is on the show. And Phil, who is the head of her record label as well as her close dear friend, called on Iyanla to help Miss Leandra Johnson. Okay, she has had a whirlwind of a career from Sunday's Best to winning a Grammy on her first album, but now she's, you know, she's going through it and she needs help. Iyanla wants to know, has Phil been silent as it regards to her alcoholism? And you know, when she was talking about how you have these people in your lives who have something to gain from you financially. They may be your friend, they may love you, but their livelihood is in somewhat dependent upon you continuing to go through life without actually dealing with any of your problems, because if you deal with your problems, that means you might have to take some time off. You might have to sit it out for a little bit, which means that they won't be getting their money. And as her close friend Phil, Iyanla wants to know, are you one of these people who have not only been silenced, but it enabled her to continue this alcoholic behavior? And Phil doesn't feel that way. He doesn't feel that he has been that type of person, but Iyanla wants him to know that he has. And you betrayed her by not being honest. He wants her on the path to success personally, whether he loses her business or not. Iyanla says he has his own part in this whole situation. So let's not forget about that. Let's not, you know, act like that's not there, because that's not real. And we trying to be 100% honest with this woman. And to be honest with her, y'all have to be honest with yourselves as the people who are around her and take responsibility for the enabling that you've done. Okay? All right? Did y'all get that? All right. So Leandra gets there. And she like then already decided that she not about to quit drinking. She said, I'm gonna stop, you know, a little bit. I'm gonna pull it back, but I ain't about to completely stop. And I'm like, when you have a ankle monitor on so that it can test the amount of alcohol in your system before your car starts, man, because you had a DUI and all of this, yeah, I think you've gotten to a point where we can say this is past. Maybe I need to take a step back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that she's having a very hard time accepting what this picture is for her now. She is stuck in the mindset of, oh, I just drink to have a good time. Oh yeah, I might drink to deal with my issues, but you know, I'm functioning. A lot of people are functioning alcoholics. That doesn't mean that that's good. That doesn't mean that they're healthy. That doesn't mean that they're dealing with their problems. It just means that they have the capability of continuing to support said habit. That's all it means, okay? Because if you're not functioning, then you out here killing and sucking dick for stuff, and normally alcohol don't take you there. You know what I'm saying? So of course, you're gonna be a functioning alcoholic. Most are. Iyanla understands about Leandra that her issues with the church have kind of all balled up into the one. And she needs to see those things separately. You need to see gospel music separately from church, and you need to see Christianity separate from what the church is. Because, excuse me, y'all. Because The entity of church is one thing, but your belief system, your Christianity that you can take with you out the door when you leave is a whole nother thing. You know, in the gospel music industry is a whole nother part of it. So you can't just ball it all into one and then, you know, just get mad at everything. And that's what she's been doing. So when they talk about her getting the DUI, she says that she could have died. And you would think at some moment throughout that trial and tribulation, you would be like, oh, maybe I need to take a step back. But obviously it's kind of had to, you know, go further and further down before she's gotten to a point where somebody else had to take the leap to get her help, because she didn't seem to want to get it for herself. And Iyanla says that, you know, people have been around you and they have expected you and demanded of you to keep your mouth shut about whatever your issues are so that you can continue to make them money. I'm not on that committee, baby, okay? And, you know, she gives them the spiel about how you might be mad at me at the end of this. You might not like me, but I'm going to be here at the end, you know, versus the people in your life who come in and test shit up and then leave and don't come back. And, you know, there wasn't nothing positive for you at the end of the day. Just use you up and throw you away. Iyanla is trying to tell you that, yes, I might be making you face some uncomfortable things, but I'm going to be here for you at the end of this process, okay? But Leandra doesn't believe Miss Iyanla. So Miss Iyanla wants to know why she's even here to begin with. Okay, why are you here? She says she needs help, but she's not an alcoholic. Even though she got that ankle monitor on her ankle. Like, baby, hello, what is that? What is that? Okay, prime example that you have a drinking problem. If they have to put that on your ankle, baby, come on now. Okay, she said, you know, it's a lot of alcohol, bitch. Like, you're doing a lot. So she brings out this tray, y'all. She brings out this huge, like, y'all know the trays with all the alcohol people used to have when they would have dinner parties back in the day, back before bitch go get the bottles and just bring them to the table. You know, back in the day, they used to have a tray that they would bring it out on. And she has like these huge bowls, like 4 or 5 huge bowls of what she goes through in alcohol throughout the day. Not throughout the week, baby, throughout the day. So to let her know that you get up at 11 o'clock to 1, you drinking mimosas. Then you might take a little break or something like that, but you back to drinking in time for the kids to get off from school, okay? Then after they done, you know, sat down and finished their homework and took a bath, you drinking again at the end of the night. So you drinking all throughout your day. That's alcoholism, baby. That's not just, oh, I wanted to have a drink because I was having a tough day. That's not what that is. You got a problem. But like I said, Leandra thinks she good, okay? She functioning. Iyanla tells her spoken like a real alcoholic. Okay, spoken like a real alcoholic. She's using it to dull pain. And then they talk about her brother dying and how that really kind of catapulted the drinking into an issue. And her getting online with the nasty videos and all of that. And she's talking about he's not supposed to be dead. He's not supposed to be dead. And Iyanla like, baby, you're not supposed to have a DUI with an ankle monitor on. But here we are. Here we are. This is life. God give it and God take it away. And y'all, let me tell y'all, that's something I have never had an issue with. When people die. As much as it might hurt me. But throughout my life, somebody pivotal in my life has died since the very beginning and then throughout the years. Like my first grandfather died. I was very young. I don't really remember him. But I remember it as being like, okay, you have less than the amount of grandparents you should have at this point. Okay? But when my second grandfather, my mom's dad, died, I felt that. I felt that loss. I was 6 years old, but I felt that loss. I loved him very much and I spent a lot of time with him. So when he died, that was the first one. 4 years later, my grandmother, who I love very much and who I'm very much alike, she died. You know, and then that was in 1998. So yeah, we can go all the way to 2005 when Katrina happens. And then there's another hit to your spirit. And I lost a family member in that. We weren't that close, but I still felt some type of way about how all that went down. That was a little bit before Katrina. But then Katrina hits and then, you know, bow. Like, that's another hit in the chest. Your family member might as well die when you deal with something that catastrophic. And then, 3 years after Katrina, my dad died. So it's like I've constantly had these deep losses in my life enough to know that whatever is happening for a reason, especially when it comes to that. And when it's time for people to go, that's the way they're supposed to go. I can't spend no time feeling like, oh, they wasn't supposed to go, because they're gone. They're gone. You know, so I feel like a lot of people don't come to terms with death as a part of life. But because I've had to deal with so many people dying throughout my life, and not in, you know, violent ways or nothing like that, you know, sickliness or old age or however, whatever, it was still them being taken from me. And I think that's an important lesson, that you don't like hide from people, or you don't make kids feel like death is some, you know, some crazy thing that happens, because they have to learn that death is a part of life. And these deaths in your life affect you in a way for you to become the person that you're supposed to become. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least that's the way I feel about it. So when she started to say, oh, this shouldn't happen, it shouldn't have happened, it's like, see, you still on the wrong page with this situation at this point. You know? So then they talk about her videos and her saying that the church is the same, you know, as anybody walking on the street, and they ain't shit, and fuck the church, and, you know, it's the only place that you can go and get robbed and nobody call the cops, you know. Iyanla says that a lot of the things that she said were correct. Her assumptions and her feelings were not wrong, but her delivery was fucked up. Her delivery was wrong. Her being angry, her being hurt, her being in a drunken, you know, in a drunken anger, that's really what makes people not want to listen to what you have to say. And her coming out that way, it coming out the way that it did with such negativity, is because she's not clear about who she is as a woman and as a person. And I love when she says that. You're not clear about yourself. Because so many of us walk around unclear about who we are, what we want, what, you know, just not really connected to who we are as a person. We just going through life, you know. So when she says that, that always makes me, you know, remember to tap into, you know, bitch, are you clear? You know what I'm saying? Oh, am I clear? And sometimes I'm not clear, okay? But then there are other times that I do have these moments of clarity, you know what I'm saying? And I try to expound upon those, but y'all know how life is. God give it and God take it away. God give you a total moment of knowing that everything gonna be all right, and then several moments after that, your ass feel like it's all about to be thrown asunder. So I get it, and that's when the faith comes into play and all of that. Leandria eventually admits that she's lost, and she can't even minister to herself. So how is she going to minister through her music? And Iyanla says that she does minister through the alcohol. This ain't alcohol, this is tea, all right? But I'm just saying, she does minister to herself. She just wasn't given the proper tools and wasn't taught how to deal with her pain. She wasn't really taught, because when you taught how to deal with your anger, when you taught how to deal with your pain, you don't jump off the edge into a bottle. You know, I mean, it's just what it is. So she tells her to sit there and write, go through her emotions, go through her feelings, cry, write, put it all out on paper. That's the first thing that she asks her to do, and she leaves her alone to do that, and she goes to talk to Leandria's brother, Terrence, because she wants to have a fuller picture about what Leandria's life was like. And he says that, you know, she's been trying to deal with her dealings with alcohol, like nobody actually wants to call a thing and say that she's an alcoholic. They want to keep dancing around it. And Iyanla is like, I know y'all grew up in a church and that's cute and everything, but your sister, is she an alcoholic? Okay, like put that word on that, okay? Put some respect on that, okay? Can we get into it? And he says, yeah, you know, he asked her to stop drinking, and she said she didn't have a problem. She was just having a good time. And Iyanla, you know, points to that. You just ask somebody to give up drinking like it's the easiest thing. Like, you know, that's like asking you to stop drinking water, asking you to stop breathing air. Like, it's harder for somebody who is an addict. And until y'all realize that that's where she at with this shit, you're not going to give it the gravity that it needs in order for her to get help without her feeling like people don't really understand. You know what I'm saying? They can just glaze over how hard this is for her, because drinking is not an issue for them in the way that it's an issue for her. And Iyanla asked Terrence, can he be the big brother? Because she needs somebody to lean on. She needs somebody to go to AA meetings with her. Will you take her to a meeting? And he says, oh yeah, I don't have no problem with that, because I went through AA. It wasn't for alcohol, but I went through AA. And she's like, it doesn't matter. She was like, does she even know that? And he was like, no. She was like, you have got to tell her that, because she feel like she the only one out here crazy. And you know, the fact is they grew up as PKs. They grew up as preacher's kids, and everybody knows the preacher's kids always spaz the hell out eventually, because they always have to be some example for the church. They always have to be some poster child for saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost your entire life. That is not realistic. That is not realistic. And I don't know a preacher's kid yet that ain't completely wild the fuck out at one point or another. So restricting them from having a normal teenage life did not do them children any favors. I'm just gonna say that right now. And I know I don't have no kids, but I know everybody always feel like, you know, not everybody, but there are parents who feel like if they shield their children from everything, that they'll grow up and be successful adults. And in all actuality, they get out to this world and they busting through the doors because they've been feeling like they've been held captive for so damn long. You don't let them go to parties, you don't let them go to the dances, you don't let them have a good time. They're teenagers. They're not supposed to be worrying about giving their life to Christ right now. Like, I'm sorry, I just feel like that. You're supposed to be a Christian, you're supposed to keep that in you and with you, but that's not what's on the forefront of any teenager's mind for the most part. They got too much shit going on with their hormones and school and what life is supposed to be like. I personally feel like people really have a grasp on religion when they've gone through shit and become an adult. Like, that's just how I feel. Of course, there's always exceptions to the rule. But I feel like as a teenager, you don't have a real grasp on anything. Let alone the church and all the you know, the expectation of you being a preacher's kid. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me, y'all. That's just from the eyes that I've seen, Lord. Okay? Now, after Iyanla finished her conversation with Terrence, she gets note from the producers that Leandria is outside in the street and she's in the middle of full breakdown. She don't know if she don't want to do it no more. Now, the thing that I didn't understand was that she's sitting there, she talking about everything she said was right, everything she said was right. But why, what's happening then? If she was right about everything she was saying, why do you want to leave now? So it's just some confusion dealing with our girl Leandra. So Iyanla finally comes down and, you know, she just starts screaming out Bible verses. Lean not on your own understanding. Okay, not on your own understanding. Like, just saying all kind of every Bible verse that she could think of to fit this situation. Iyanla tells Leandria that she needs to lean on the gospel. Lean on the word. Don't lean on the minister. Don't lean on the church. Don't lean on the people. Don't lean on the music execs and all of that. Lean on the gospel, baby. Lean on the word. Okay, said that the Lord said, come on to me, all of thee who are labored. Okay, come on to me, not come on to you. Okay, basically telling her this battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. Okay, there's no sadness Jesus can't feel, and there is no sorrow that he cannot heal. Okay, look, I ain't gonna keep going. For all things work. Okay, the battle is not yours, Leandria. That's what Miss Iyanla trying to tell you. Okay, you're using the same stuff that you're rebelling against, and you're not leaning on God. You're leaning on your own understanding. Iyanla said you could go. She was like, cause I'm gonna love you anyway, but you could go or you could stay. And she walked away. The look she gave, I was like, there wasn't no love in that look, Miss Iyanla. Lord have mercy. Iyanla tired of people coming to her, telling her how to do shit. That's what that is. So Iyanla talks to Robert, which is Leandria's booking agent and the road manager. And Iyanla asks if Leandria is an alcoholic. He says if this was 30 days prior, maybe. But she got arrested and was in jail for 31 days. So she's been clean ever since then. Iyanla says, well, addiction is about your mind, your body, and your spirit. Just because you haven't had a drink in a while doesn't mean you're no longer an alcoholic. And that's the thing. I don't understand these people who don't know that once you've been an addict, you're an addict for the rest of your life. You are dealing with a trial and a tribulation for the rest of your life. And yes, some days are better than others, but you're still taking it a day at a time. I don't understand people who think that you can just put that to the side and then it not be an issue anymore. That is so unrealistic. Who are these people, y'all? Oh, Lord. He says that, you know, it was her brother dying that hit her hard. He doesn't want her going down the wrong track. She asked about her videos, and he says that he deleted those videos because she wants to know, what are y'all doing to help her not make a fool of her damn self? And she says there are people that want to keep their jobs, so they don't tell her what she needs to hear. They tell her what they think she wants to hear, not what she needs to hear, which is the truth. And it's not just him, you know, she's not just pointing the finger at Robert, but saying that all the people around her, her brother, the Phil, everybody in some way, shape, or form is trying to keep the business together as well as the person. And sometimes those things don't have the same, they just don't have the same interest at the end of the day. So Leandria says that she thought about it, and the alcohol has taken her away from her kids. She hasn't been as present for them as she would like to be. And Iyanla says, so how do you know that? And she says, well, you know, whenever we're about to go out or, you know, have a drink or something, they'll be like, Mom, can you please not drink? And she said, so what do you say to them? And she was like, I'll say, don't tell me what to do. And she kind of starts to have a breakdown. And Iyanla is once again telling her, that's all right, baby. You're not wrong. Nobody taught you better. So it's okay. It's understandable. Don't feel bad about it. Just know that you have a resource. And you know what? I'm going to go get that resource. So she goes and gets Phil. And Phil comes in and she's so happy that he's there for her. And he tells her that her drinking has to stop. And if she doesn't get herself together in 60 days, he is going to drop her as a client. And, you know, she understands all of that. But what Iyanla says is she's an addict. 60 days is not enough. How about 90? Give her a little bit more time. Y'all have to understand what this is. She hasn't even begun to go through the real work. So for y'all to put such a short time frame on it, y'all don't have they just not grasping it. The people around her, which makes Iyanla feel like it's not that y'all not grasping it, it's that y'all want her to hurry up and get better so she can get back to making this money, making this bread. And Iyanla asked him to explain what being alcohol, you know, what this looks like for her, what this should be for her, so she can have a clear understanding. And he basically says alcohol free. Be happy to be there. Be blessed to be in a position to go in the studio and make music, because there are a lot of people that can't do that, you know. So there's going to be a part 2, and we'll see whatever else happens with Miss Leandria. But I will say this. I didn't feel like she was really understanding anything up until the end. And when that happens, I don't know how they're actually going to be once they get off camera and they get home. Because if you're having a hard time coming to terms with it when Iyanla is in your face giving you the evidence of your issues, how are you going to understand it once you get home and she's no longer there in your face? Especially when you have so many people around you who say they want the best for you, but at the same time, they've been lying to you about how bad this shit really looks. You know? All right then, y'all. That's my thoughts on Fix My Life. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to donate to my channel, please go to my PayPal. You can use my email, BONDY.BRITTANY@gmail.com. It would be greatly appreciated at this juncture. All right. Love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next video, which will be family or fiance.